Hello, welcome to the 3D market commentary for today, Friday the 13th of May. Now I know it's a Friday the 13th, but hopefully we don't have a scary day in the markets. Now the disclaimers are on the top left-hand side of the screen, so please do read them, even if you need to pause the video to do so. Now before I explain what the 3D market commentary is, let's just show you where you can go if you have questions or if you need help, support or resources. Now you have different email addresses here, Becky@tradewithufos.com and support@tradewithufos.com, different email addresses you can go to. There's also this link here, tradewithufos.com/Becky. Now that will take you to this link, and on this page you'll have different resources, different support available. You can book one-on-one coaching if you'd like to. There's also the group coaching, courses and apps that you can get from here. Once we start filling it in, then you'll also have, my mouse is being funny there, also have a place that you can track the live trades that I place in my sessions that I do with you guys. And if you scroll to the bottom, there's a question and answer section as well, where you can log in and ask a question for free, or you may find the answer to your question already here from somebody else's question. So lots of help and resources, most of it from this link here. So let's now go through and have a look at our 3D market commentary. So we send out an email every Monday to Friday. She says, there we go. There you go. We can see it both now. And that's what we have here on the left-hand side. Now that email has statistics and probabilities for major world markets based on 3 different elements. That's why we call it the 3D market commentary. So those 3 elements are here. The first of which is market climate. Now, market climate essentially means where is that market likely to go? Is it likely to go up? Is it likely to go down? Or is it not likely to go anywhere? We use an app to help us. It's called AutoClimate. It's a free app on most platforms that you can get it on. And AutoClimate essentially shows us where those probabilities lie. I'll show you what we mean and what that looks like as we go through the different markets. So that's the first one. Now the second one, I'm just going to squish price a little bit here so that we can see both. There we go. So the second of 3 elements that we look at is what we call buy and sell UFOs. UFO in this case stands for unfilled order. And what it means is, where can we find buyers that are waiting to buy that may push price up? Where can we find sellers that are waiting to sell that may push price down, to give us an idea of where we should be buying and selling as well? Again, we use an app. It's called Auto UFOs, and it shows us where these buyers and sellers are. Little green UFOs show us buyers. The little red UFOs show us sellers. So we'll look at that per market as well. The last thing we look at is market volatility, which is how quickly we expect these markets to move. So we'll look at each of these elements for each of the markets one by one, starting with the S&P 500, which is the top 500 US stocks. Now, bear in mind, everything that we're looking at is on a daily time frame, so a daily chart for each of these markets. And of course, just because we're looking at probabilities and statistics does not mean that we are looking at guarantees. Nobody knows 100% what will happen in life, let alone the markets. So we do need to manage our risk still, and you may also want to add extra layers of probability on top of this. So looking at the S&P 500, we have a thick red dot on our AutoClimate. Ignore the lines, focus on the dots. Thick red dot tells us probability is down. That's what AutoClimate is telling us. So probability down for the S&P. Now we have sellers close by between 4153.25 to 4062. And we have buyers quite a way away between 3480 and 3390. Overall, probability down with sellers closer by, buyers further away. I would be surprised to see it turn drastically to the upside. We'll see, but for the time being, probability downwards. Now, in terms of volatility, we would expect movement up or down in 1 year of 30.8% in the S&P 500. So that means in 1 day, movement of 76.96 points. In a week, 169.43 points. and in a month 352.69 points, either up or down. So that's the S&P. Now the next market is crude oil. So let's move on to that. Load the chart and squish it so we can see what we need to see. There we go. Now, before I show you that, just a point up here about the different courses that we offer. If you do feel like you need help in understanding how to trade Forex, stocks, or futures, or perhaps you want to understand how to build a trading plan, how to backtest it, or how to manage trading psychology, we have courses that can help you with that, and they're low price points as well. Now, most of the courses come with a 3-month complimentary access to the apps that we use. Now, AutoClimate, this one here, that's a free app on most platforms. You can use it on anyway. Auto UFOs, which is the one that shows us the buyers and sellers, that's a paid for monthly subscription. It depends on which platform you use as to how much it costs. Now, you can subscribe directly to the Auto UFOs. You don't need to get a course in order to use them. You can just subscribe directly and just use that monthly membership. Now, most of the time, it is actually cheaper to get a course and get free access for 3 months than it is to just use the apps. So check that out and see what works best for you. So coming back to oil, we have on AutoClimate a thin dot. Doesn't matter the color. If it's a thin dot, that's AutoClimate telling us not enough probabilities either way. This market doesn't know what it's doing, which means we do nothing. There is no point trading a market that doesn't have clear probabilities. And that's what we see here with AutoClimate at the moment. Not enough probabilities in either direction. Now, saying that, we do have sellers very close by that could come into play very soon to start pushing price back down. They are between 115.54 to 108.68. So we're very, very close. If price were to hit these sellers, we would expect the sellers to push price down. They've already done that a few times. Price came into these sellers a few weeks ago and was pushed down. Came back up last week and was pushed down. On its way back up now. So that's why we want to know where the sellers are, because they push price down. So it gives us an idea of where we might want to sell from. But for the time being, not enough probability either way, but look out for those sellers coming into play soon. In terms of volatility, we'd expect movement up or down in 1 year of 52.71%. So in a day, 3.57 points. In a week, 7.87 points. And in a month, 16.38 points. Again, that's movement either up or down that we might expect. So the next market is gold. There we go. Let's load gold and squish price so we can see what we want to see. Now, just before we look at that, just to highlight here about the coaching and support that we offer. As we said at the start, there's loads of different resources, help and support available to you. A lot of it is free. You'll find a lot of our videos on YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook and places like that. Now, we also have an all-advanced or an all-asset advanced coaching, which gives you access to live trading videos and extra resources. So check that out if you'd like to. Otherwise, like I said, lots of coaching and support available for free anyway. So gold, we have a thick red dot probability down. However, we have been going down for longer than would be usual for gold. We would usually go down for 6 candles on a daily chart. And we've actually now been going down for 18 candles, so 3 times further to the downside than we usually would go. It's not to say that that means it's going to turn around, because it's been overextended for a while now. But the further we go past what's normal, the less likely it is to happen. So bear that in mind. There's another thing that may get in the way. Buyers. We are within a stack of buyers right now. Those buyers are between 1815.8 to 1788.5, and we're already inside them. We expect buyers to push price up. Now, it may be that the sellers are too strong and it continues to push price down, but more likely the probability is we'll see at least a slight turn of price. We'll see. For now, I would say don't do anything, because we have conflicting probabilities. We have probability pushing down from the climate, but probability pushing up from the buyers. They're fighting each other at the moment. Keep out of that fight. Let it clear itself one way or the other, and then we go from there. In terms of volatility, we'd expect movement up or down in 1 year of 21.51%. In a day, that's 24.62 points. In a week, 54.2 points. And in a month, 112.83 points, again, either up or down. So that's gold. Now, the next market is the US dollar. So let's load this and squish it again. Okay, so the US dollar has a thick blue dot probability upwards. Now we have buyers here between 104.21 to 103.235. So they're relatively close. If price were to take a small retracement down, we'd expect those buyers to push price up and continue it moving to the upside. So overall, probability up for the time being with the US dollar. In terms of volatility with the US dollar, we'd expect movement up or down in 1 year of 11.25%. In a day, that's 0.74 points. In a week, 1.64 points. And in a month, 3.41 points. So that's the US dollar. Now, the last market is bakkt Bitcoin. So let's load this. So excuse me. And squish it there. Now, just to highlight before we start on bakkt Bitcoin, to highlight our platform, it's called TOP, stands for Traditive Options Planner. Now, it has options in the name, so if you're an options trader, it is especially helpful because it has lots of exclusive options apps integrated into that platform. If you're not an options trader, you can use it as well for stocks, futures, and Forex for analysis purposes. I personally use it for those markets myself. So check that out, see what works best for you. Bakkt Bitcoin, thick red dot probability downwards. Now we're here, prices here at the moment. We have sellers up here between 36,445 to 35,525. We have buyers down here between 23,737.5 to 22,910. Overall, we're a good few points away from either the buyers or sellers, so they're unlikely to affect us anytime soon. What is giving us probability at the moment is the autoclimate there to the downside. So probability down for the time being with bakkt Bitcoin. In terms of volatility for Bitcoin, we'd expect movement up or down in 1 year of 96.19%. So in a day, that's up or down of about 1,800 points. In a week, up or down of about 4,000 points. And in a month, up or down of about 8,400 points. So that is each of our major world markets that we look at in the market commentary. For each of them, we have looked at market climate, using autoclimate to figure out where the likely upcoming market direction is. Is it likely to go up, down, or nowhere? And we use this app to help us. We then looked at buy and sell UFOs. Where do we have buyers that could push price up? Where do we have sellers that could push price down? And then we looked at volatility. How far do we expect each of these markets to move within given periods of time? Now, the last thing to look at is our weekly economic calendar. We get this from fxstreet.com and we filter by high impact news. We want to know which scheduled news reports are likely to affect the markets that we trade. Not to say that unscheduled news reports, of course, could affect us as well. So today being Friday, the 13th of May, we have news coming out at 10 a.m. Eastern that could affect US markets or the US dollar. So bear that in mind. Okay, so that's us done for today and for the week. We'll be back on Monday with the next market commentary. If you have any questions, you can email me directly. It's becky@tradewithufos.com. Always happy to help. Or you may find that you find more help from tradewithufos.com/Becky. From here, booking coaching, apps and courses, following the trades that we'll be placing in our live sessions, and coming down and asking a question in this environment or finding the answer already here. So I will wish you a great end to your trading week, a great weekend ahead, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.